set up?
A core of ministries, including finance, Attorney General, Minister of Justice Office, the social welfare, we get local governments, we get information, and they'll get other agencies, them Human Rights Commission. We also get a core of others, including the Council of Paramount Chiefs. We get APA, we get a core of civil society organizations, etc. So that and then also mayors, because this process also they deal with local governance. So we get the 4 city mayors plus bonds, a municipality. We also got the Association of Local Councils, and the Permanent Secretary, the Office of the Chief Minister, and the Secretary, and the Chief Minister, and the Chair. So a core of this committee, the oversight and leadership, in the implementation of the Tripartite recommendations. The Secretariat, the operational arm of the steering committee, and with duty now for undertake the decisions of the steering committee, but also primarily for coordinate day-to-day implementation of the tripartite recommendations. So within that, they mean say with the interface, with the relate with all the institutions that they did, all within and then processes that they happen in terms of engaging regulations and policies that they deal with the functionality of organizations. We get also a communications expert. So the communications expert, their responsibility also, for set up a communication strategy, how the steering committee, but also the Secretariat could relate with the public, and also disseminate information to the public, developing a standard operational procedure as to how communications will take place, in terms of information dissemination, but also relating with the press, both electronic and print moving process. Because the finance experts, for helping look at financial issues, a lot they do in terms of sourcing funding, which is part of the role as the coordinator, for also help, for raise funding through the advice of the steering committee, from various international partners, development partners, and other organizations, and we want for support the work they do. And then we get a core of other staff, them and admin assistants, we get research assistants who they take, for help we look at a core of important issues and what they deal with. So there's a small team of professionals within the Secretariat, and the responsibility really now for look at technical and professional processes and for move the Secretariat go forward.
Looking at the setup of the Secretariat, you are the coordinator, and when the tripartite are a product of the concerns that will come on inside the 2023 election, and now you they lead the Secretariat where they implement the 80 recommendations that we come on at the tripartite. But you be don't serve as commissioner now the Youth Commission. We may see you be don't take position within government. Now you leading this Secretariat. What in the other side they say about Golokata position as the head of Secretariat?
First of all, this process here is government led. No other way going to be no go there. How this process here go be dealt with. There's a sitting government, and I make after the signing of all the document there, the parties and bring them back to government, present it to His Excellency the President, and request according to recommendation 80 for a mechanism we will implement this process from cabinet. So cabinet approval on the 3rd of July 2004, and it set up a steering committee. Like I said, the steering committee comprised of government, comprised of other political parties, it comprised of other stakeholders, paramount chiefs, etc. So there is a wide range of this. So me, in my last responsibility as commissioner, most of the institutions and winner commissions are almost normally technically led. Not to institutions that anybody, any jack and jill go just go sit down and fulfill position. I mean, because there's a lot of real technical engagement. So professionally, now that kind of thing I bring come the National Youth Commission as a professional, somebody will understand the framework of young people. Now, in this also, as a coordinator of the Secretariat, I bring over 2 decades of experience around elections, administration, observation, and management. You're aware, say, even in civil, and also a strong civil society background, over 2 decades. I understand the latitude of what they discuss, because also, like what I say, not to, even though they don't come out of political, processes, but what they do currently, now real technical processes. They require somebody we understand the process. Somebody will also will provide a space for be very professional and create a neutral habitat environment for do the work. So I have met with almost all the political parties, including the All People's Congress. Whilst we get this conversation, they understand the kind of role I don't bring in terms of moving this process forward.
Now, trust matter, trust very much important. Maybe you will be that professional, but somebody will think, say, oh, Golokata don't be identified as an SLPP, a member of the ruling party, and they lead this process. What do you they do as an individual or as the head of the Secretariat for bring that trust in the process?
So this is what I am also bringing to you. In the course of this process, we have held very close to 30 meetings and engagements within Freetown with various actors, including political parties. I have met with the All Political Parties Association, and I don't bring all the political parties under that forum there for talk to them. I've also brought political parties who are not members of APA, who don't get conversation on this process. I have visited the main opposition, the All People's Congress. In fact, I wrote, to visit their office. We went to them. We had extensive, almost 3 hours meeting. And all the issues that we don't raise come up, and we discuss them. Frankly, I'm a Sierra Leonean. Somebody will believe in the country. I also educated to the level for understand. The line between political, partisan, and professional engagements.
Okay, so still the line of my colleague.
And at the end of the night, I don't present. I don't show. One of the critical issues now for ensure say there is consistent engagement with all parties without any biasness in processes. My duty now for coordinate. So I have conversations with the various parties, understand what are the issues, compile them back into a report, present to the steering committee, for actions, because they're also dealing at the steering committee. So consistently, I try for ensure, say, I show that level of neutrality. But like I say, professionalism will go drive this process without any cause.
Again, as I mentioned earlier on, it's still to the line of my colleague. We ask about so far trust issues. So tell me about your selection process as the national coordinator.
The process, of course, like I said, it was done by the steering committee. Through a committee. In the course of this process here, the steering committee, they don't identify subcommittees, and so the role we then play now for gather CVs or a core of potential people, and we get expertise in this and vet them, and then get conversations with them for move around the process. So I went through a recruitment process. You know, so when an appointment, you always say don't please Excellency the President for appointing that person. But in the circumstances of me, now the steering committee, subcommittee of that, and I do the vetting, and I get a letter from the secretary of the steering committee.
So at that time, the opposition didn't make any concern with regards to the appointment?
Not really. I mean, I'm not aware. They don't raise an now to me. I mean, when I visited them. But in the course of that, they have, I mean, we don't try to understand that I am just a servant of the people. The process will bring me come, and not being get any control over them. I mean, it's a conversation more for the steering committee, but the fact is that now that kind of process now bring me, and where it bring me, my duty now for create an environment where acceptable to all and sundry for make we work in the implementation of the recommendations.
Continue for stay with me inside the program. Go Lokata, coordinator Tripartite Secretariat. If you just join me today, you talk about the work of the Secretariat. We'll come back to you. We can tell we how far we don't go with the implementation of the recommendations. Then we are the 80 recommendation of the Tripartite committee. Then good morning, Salona. The program where they come to you from 98.1 FM. Where they bring you this edition. Musa Kamana, my name. We still get Go Lokata, coordinator Tripartite Secretariat. Today they talk about the work of the Secretariat. We don't look at the setup, we don't look at the composition of the Tripartite Secretariat. Now we'll look at how far this committee or this Secretariat don't go in the implementation of the 80 recommendations of the Tripartite reports.
Extensive work they on at various institutional level. You are aware, say, most of them things are law on paper them. We then don't write. So a lot of real desk reviews that they go on, when they look at the review of laws and also and the constitution. Me and you know, say the constitution been under review for a very long time. In the most recent past, the Justice Kawan constitutional review process, they been don't pull a white paper, and the past government be hand over to the present government, and then say they don't revise them, they don't look at them, and now they don't zero into them, looking at also within the tripartite recommendation they talk about constitutional issues. We get relationships. So a lot of the way the Attorney General and Minister of Justice they look at in terms of within the recommendations and also how they relate to the white paper, and so then they review and they go on. Also, a lot they among over 30 issues raised between ECSL and as well as the PPRC in terms of electoral reforms. The one they also the other, I mean, a lot of reviews, and so it means the Public Elections Act 2022 and also the PPRC Act of 2022 will go to over review again on that. So an extensive work on that is going. For me, the Attorney General and Mr. Justice before do that very well. You don't set up a team of legal, a legal team. We will help her for deal with this. Supervised by him. I've held over 3 meetings, consecutive meetings with him, strong meetings, understanding the whole process. Me also like, well, my own duty now for understanding the process and gather the information for the steering committee, but for also Sierra Leoneans. So an extensive work on that they go on. We in the next couple of months they then go done them. Once they're done them, a lot of engagement will be between citizens of Sierra Leone understanding that, and then also recommendations we then go review, and then now they go back to them and done them. Then we present that to the steering committee. It go to cabinet for approval before it go parliament. So that's one of the issues. Also, in the course of recommendations, things that they also with the recommendation they ask for example, management and functional reviews. Basically, what that they may say, if they ask for make we look at the institutions they are back. I mean, in retrospect of how they belong they work and how we want for better work. I mean, continue, including Electoral Commission, PPRC, etc. I don't the Police Complaint Board. I don't tell you SABC. I mean, how they work and how they go review. So the public sector reform units, when they responsibility that by mandate, don't they do that? They don't do with the Electoral Commission. So then they can't through in final stage.
All the 57 recommendations for ECSL.
I mean, a lot of them they already on with the ECSL, and then self get some of them. Now policies and regulations, they don't they draft them. Then will require some consultations, and so they work with them for ensuring them consultations, and they'll be making citizens understand those issues, political parties understand those issues. But the core of them now legislative reforms, so they require review of the law. And then they, like what I said, the Attorney General Minister of Justice to deal with that. Also, so a series of the other management and functional reviews that they own already. Today, we'll get a steering committee meeting today, about the 6th one now. So a series of steering committee meetings already take place, and each one gets a benchmark for review and clear a process. So they have started with the meeting, we say all the committee members they meet. After that, they set up subcommittees. After that, then bring a work plan for support and process. After that, we're now going to technical issues. So all them issues I want to discuss will be presented before them today.
Among the 80 recommendations so far, I mean, they not the report. I'm also not able for like done with pass and put aside and continue for watch at more than one them, because you don't mention about work in progress. But the work will be mentioned as a result of what able for like done at the end of the day.
So they talk like how now it rests no more, not to it rest this now technical process where we will require engagements, consultations. Like what I say, a lot of this they in writing now. And then the first will be how they will review them. Whether they don't, we will open them up for scrutiny and conversation. Because now law, not about one set of people or more. And the core of this process there now for make we allow real participatory consultation so that citizens they understand the issues there. Because also recommendations that they will say now so for do them. For example, the national dialogue, in recommendation 78, they talk about national dialogue on the electoral systems. So that they will require also engagement of citizens across the country to make them understand. So
okay, we only force and take this commercial break. Or can we go continue for talk on voting so far the committee or the secretariat to do?
We still get go look at the program coordinator. Tripartite Secretariat. Before we go, we're going to talk about what we don't do any recommendations them we don't implement and the way they want to implement so far. How much recommendations we deal with?
All the 80 recommendations, of course, we recommend 80 are really about how it be, but from 1 to 79 are about various institutions and what how they will move the processes. So first of all, what we don't do as a secretariat, we don't write most of the institutions, we don't visit them for no what they do. So institutions that we get what we call public sector engagement processes in terms of reviewing the functions of the institutions, the public sector experts in role, and for follow up with the institutions and get updates on what they do so that they see clearly. So for example, if you get for do a policy review, we want for ensure say we want to follow up with the progress of the policy review. If there is a draft, we also want to get access to that, and then we can discuss them so that we all can sit down and move on forward.
When the tripartite reports being come out and the recommendations them, the 18 and then pinpoint make people ask what's in up with the 4 recommendations.
Now divergent recommendations we the All People's Congress raised very strong. I don't read through them, and most of them are much more of the work of the Electoral Commission.
So when they deal with them,
Then they part of them, will they look at them? I mean, the what we do, we engage the electoral commission for ensure say they within their own processes. Like I said, those are processes that they do in terms of administering and managing electoral process. So I mean, if they within them purview for do that, they will follow up with that and yeah, within that their own. I mean, part of also this process they tie with the law. I mean, so the law will be reviewed and reformed for some of them then issues like how we don't discuss, so we pay attention to all and other institutions in the Office of National Security, for example. Much more of the conversation around the Integrated Election Security Planning Committee, when a committee set up by the Office of National Security, mostly civilian, but also with sets of decision-making officers from elections management processes with the lead on Nandi. So the process they ask for a series of institutionalization of their work. They don't do a lot of Nandi in terms of the decisions around it. For example, when go for take decision, I went for invoke MacP. The law when they talk down, but what they require now, it require engagement with citizens for me to understand first what's in a MacP and how they will move that kind of process and so a lot of them they don't already discern them in terms of timelines in relation to the work plan. I mean within this period until the end of 2025. Also the SIBC, the instead the under functional management and functional review right now, the independent police complainant board instead they under the PPRC said they under the so a lot of them when they are the processes that they go on,
okay,
they will take some time for me done.
Are they meeting? So the process don't start in all of the recommendations.
The process don't start across the board in all the recommendations. Some of them we still they engage with the institutions then for make them begin their own process them. And like I said, then it's not so much difficult. We don't write them, we follow up with them. We also look at some of them the timelines that don't elapse, but period how they will continue. So the Secretariat will look at them back and review them, but we'll bring them back to the steering committee.
What are the time frame again of the Secretariat?
I expect say within the next 1 year we're supposed to coordinate and help in the implementation of all their recommendations.
That's starting from when? The 1 year?
Last year.
Okay.
Last year, October, 90 Secretariat.
And that means you don't almost go over 6 months.
Absolutely. I mean, and within these 6 months, tremendous work don't go in place.
And it's
so
still optimistic so I will complete the process before the next 6 months.
I mean, it's
because watching at what you don't say so far, work in progress. Somebody go say perhaps one are still Debian or Fabian.
Some of them are drafts now, but they require engagements and we will give people, people support around them. I mean, these are laws, these are procedures. You are not doing them in a vacuum. You are doing it for Sierra Leoneans. So every stage of that, they want to ensure Sierra Leoneans they understand. After this steering committee meeting today, we, in fact, for example, the Electoral Commission in management and functional review will come at the steering committee. It will be finalized. I mean, today we will move out of and engage across the country so that citizens they understand the extent of work we don't go. But like I said to you, a lot of work has taken place. I mean, because of this process, we've had over 25 to 30 meetings with various stakeholders who are leading on this process, and we are now going to start extensive engagement with the citizenry.
But one key important thing about the work of any organization, NAFCOPO, how this secretariat stand in terms of supports?
Yeah, well, they get money from government. I mean, like I said, it's not a government process. So, I mean, we don't get some grant from government. With the setting up of the secretariats, supporting with processes, equipment, payment of staff, contract salaries, and so and also some money for even the level of work that what they do. So a lot, I mean, a lot is happening in terms of supporting. I want to tell government of Sierra Leone, thank you for that. We're also speaking to a set of other partners. So the international ideas, for example, now one of our partners will give support to governments, you know, and the relationship has been quite open and consultative, and we look forward to them supporting a set of the activities, in fact, what they undertake, because we already get a memorandum of understanding between them and we for support them process. And we don't get also extensive conversation with other development partners, I mean, through the UNDP elections basket fund, and then self don't agree. So I attend the technical committee of the development partners routinely at 3 meetings that I attend right now with them, and we don't agree. Then say we give support to the secretariat. I'm looking at targeted areas. So, for example, a lot around inclusivity. In terms of supporting vulnerable groups, we want for do Braille, for example, for persons with disability, impaired vision people. We also want for support sign interpreters. I mean, for deaf and dumb. I mean, so let's say we'll get the opportunity of getting the process. Okay. We're also supporting developing, I mean, at a glance, small book of the processes within the tripartite. We'll go share amongst young people and also put into Creole so that people can understand them, jingles, I mean, of various languages, and put on the radios for people to understand the process.
The MCC couple being tied to the implementation of the tripartite recommendations. In una work, una get anything for do with the MCC, or without them una do work with tell una anything about the MCC and the work of the tripartite?
No. We work with the, of course, the development partners process is led by the U.S. ambassador. I think that's as much as we can say. I mean, much no the way they talk about MCC in this. We focus now on tripartite recommendation implementation.
In all of this, in your estimation, or to a certain extent, I would describe so far our work in terms of making the ordinary person know actually what's not to do, because all of this now for the ordinary man.
So this is a very technical process.
What people deserve also for how far they come out and they go.
It requires we understanding first. Now we will tell people like what they don't be.
It's over 6 months now.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, a lot is happening on the table, but with the gather now we have enough information for disseminate across the country. So, like I said to you, after the steering committee meeting today, with the approval of many of those instruments that we're supposed to be using, by next week we are on the road. I mean, having conversation with Sierra Leoneans in every sphere of life. Yes, we believe that Sierra Leoneans need to understand this process here. I mean, be you students, you be community young person, rural person, urban person, etc. Sierra Leoneans in general. So they use all sets of engagements. We are working with the Ministry of Information and Civic Education for ensure we get some level of civic engagement around this. So across the board, yes, we are preparing for that, and we will be doing it. I mean, with different methodologies for ensure that Sierra Leoneans understand well.
And the question that we play plenty people in mind, or perhaps Sierra Leoneans, and what we get for do with reports them in this country, where perhaps they can say all the things for inside the report about implementation are probably what of assurance so far to Sierra Leoneans.
So this is to affect our elections environment, and 2028 there is elections. So it means down the line, all what they do so, go show face now that elections. Now I make every Sierra Leonean need for pay attention and follow this process here, because it requires all of us understanding it and accepting it. So that when by the time we get to 2028, we have a much more clear atmosphere for elections. There wouldn't be a lot of innuendos about suspicion here and there, because the laws will have been made clear. Sierra Leoneans will have understood, they will not know their law there. But also the most important thing now that we will hold the political parties accountable for them. Because now they don't call for them, and we'll ensure that they all follow through this and to the letter, because the signature and they part the document. No, so I mean, and so and then they will do, and will they do them so that themselves participate effectively in the process, so that by the time we reach that level, nobody will talk, say, I mean, it's clear that this is what we have all agreed on. They are now part of our laws, because it's going to change our laws. They're also part of our constitution.
After the implementation, what's next?
We will. Once the process is all non settled, the laws are changed. There is reforms taking place in the institutions. The constitution is now set as a hybrid of constitution that speaks on all what we want.
Okay.
It means we work on done. We'll put a comprehensive report together, and we'll present it to the steering committee for all presentation to His Excellency the President and all the other parties.
Your message of assurance to listeners and viewers and saloon people with regards the process.
These are very, I mean, when you there around them, then you will know how it's serious for make every Sierra Leonean concentrate on this matter. It's about laws. It's about the constitution. It's about processes that will be supporting our electoral engagements. So citizens are supposed to be part of them and understand them, and make sure say the end processes and the way they will all go agree to through consultations and all the processes and the processes the way they give support to better electoral environments. So after today, we will understand committee today. We will begin extensive engagements nationwide. We will also start interagency monthly meetings with all actors so that we will fast track this process. And also we will develop a set of standard operating procedures for helping, for example, engagement in citizens engagement. Okay. We sign a technical engagement. We want make technical people come. We sign a engagement with decision making process go there. We want make decision making people and so that nobody can say, oh, I don't get that power for make that decision, and then just seminar. We're taking our time to ensure that we create the environment peaceful, balanced, and open and transparent, so that everybody will act and move this process forward.
Thank you very much for joining us at the edition of the program. Golokata Coordinator Tripartite Secretariat. If you're inside the program, they talk about the work of the Secretariat for implement the recommendations of the Tripartite Committee.